back to the vlog and thank you for tuning in. Today we are installing headers on the Ferrari 458. But first, in honor of the stock headers, let's do a tunnel blast. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Oh my god, she sounds so good. I can't imagine how much better she's going to sound with headers because it's just gonna pitch that octave up a little bit more. But we gotta do some revs. We gotta do some revs from the outside of the car and then we'll get to work. Let's go ahead, let's pull her in the shop, let her cool down and get started. We got Sandy in the house. I like your cut, G. I'm too scared of Sandy to slap him in the back of the neck. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, this is what the Ferrari 458 sounded like bone stock before we installed and actually built and fabricated a custom Hartford Limited 1-of-1 catback exhaust. While she cools off, I'm proud to announce that we will be partnering with FI Exhaust on a set of headers for the Ferrari 458. And you know, I definitely contemplating doing headers on my own for the Ferrari, but we tried that on the Mustang. It was a lot of work. It took 4 days. So we decided just to buy a set of headers. You know what? Let me pull everything out first. So in this box, you have 2 sets of headers, a beautiful t-shirt, some stickers, and a desk calendar. These are a 4-to-1 style collector, which means the scavenging is going to be a lot smaller versus a 2-to-1 collector where there's 2 collectors and then it's gonna have better scavenging. So the idea here is you have 4 getting choked into 1, but FI stands for frequency intelligence. And when you have that type of choke, it's going to change the frequency to a higher pitch. So I'm really excited for these. They're polished, they look very nice, and a lot better than what I think we would have done here. While the 458 cools down, I have a lot of insane updates for you guys this episode that I'm really excited to share with you. We have on the GNX, but we also have on the Mustang. First, let me share with you the update on the Mustang. So I have good news and I have some really, really bad news. We need to take the block to the machine shop. Sandy's gonna do that, but first, obviously, the crank had to come out. It's quite obvious that we have spun a main bearing, and that was the oiling issue and why we spun the rod bearing. So the main just didn't give the oiling, and Sandy also pointed out that it's probably because we have a bowed crank.
See, this is all dark, all dark, all dark, all dark, all dark, and then it magically goes away on that side. Maybe why we spun the main bearing, this crankshaft might be bent.
Let's hope it's not the block, because that's the one reason why we bought this engine, is that we would have a good block for the Mustang. I'm gonna help him get this loaded up into the truck. He's also going to be taking the new set of pistons that finally arrived today. Let me show you guys. I just Ubered a set of pistons. We got pistons, boys. Thank you, PFI Speed, for introducing me to Tron Pistons, who cranked out a custom set for the Mustang for Trader so quickly. I'm out of breath, but super grateful. So we finally got a set of Tron pistons. Doing anything custom for pistons, I was telling you guys, is 12 to 16 weeks out. So I called my good friend Brent over at PFI Speed, and he hooked me up with the guys over at Tron. And huge thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough for helping to carve out a custom set of pistons for the Mustang so we can get her back on the road ASAP. What we're trying to do is lower the compression ratio. So what we did was we went with a smaller rod. Mind you guys, we're going off an NA build that wasn't built for boost. So we're doing what we can to lower the compression ratio from 11 down to, we wanted an 8.5. We got down to a 9.5, which I'm happy with. If we run some ethanol, we're solid on that. So what we ended up doing was shortening the rod so that we could run a piston with a deeper dish that wasn't gonna hit the crank. So we're literally playing with credit card widths of things right now. They say PFI. I'm just glad that we were able to get a set of these. Just look at how much deeper this piston is compared to that. It also came with the wrist pins and rings, so it's everything we need. And these are actually gonna leave today so that Sandy can take these with the block to the machine shop so that we can get everything bored and honed to exactly what we're gonna need. And he also gave us 9 because he thought, why not? So Tron made an extra piston and they included the 9th one in there in case we burn one, and hopefully just one if we ever do.
It's gonna be hard.
All right, He-Man.
Oh yeah, she's cooked.
Oh yeah. If it's the crank, we're going LS.
We're not, but that Coyote that you got rid of in it. On today's video, we're gonna unswap my Ford Mustang. Oh my God, it's not that bad.
All right, Trader's components are off to the machine shop. I'll see you tomorrow for a fun surprise.
Oh yeah.
Again, huge shout out and major thank you to Trom Pistons. So TBD on that, but we have the bottom end taken care of. It's over at the machine shop now, and we should be getting it back any day now. So I'm really excited on that. You don't even know. You don't even know what to expect. And I do have to say that even the machine shop confirmed that the springs were definitely only good for 800 horsepower, which is exactly what we saw. I would love to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, NordVPN. While it's summer and you're out traveling with family, work, or even yourself, it is best to keep your online identity safe. And I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a girl who knows about NordVPN. I've been using NordVPN myself for years now, even before they were a sponsor of this channel. I use NordVPN for two very important reasons. First, it allows me to change my IP address, which grants me more access to things such as new shows on Netflix, Hulu, or any other streaming platforms that I wouldn't normally get. The second and most important reason is protecting my online identity and data, something I am more and more concerned about every day, especially while I am out traveling on public Wi-Fi. People getting hacked is a daily occurrence and not something I or you should ever let happen. NordVPN uses an encrypted and remote server completely masking your personal information. They also have dynamic pricing, which means different prices by country and rounded numbers across all currencies. Having a VPN is an absolute must in today's world. There is no better VPN than a Nord. And if you're not satisfied, they also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. Go to nordvpn.com/Ecrew or use code Ecrew and take advantage of this deal. Thank you, NordVPN, for being such a great sponsor to this channel. Now, let's get back to the video. Headers on a Chevy small block V8? Simple. Headers on a Ferrari 458? Lord be with us today. To take off headers on the Ferrari, it's not even like the Chevrolet, the C8 Corvette, where we even just take them out from up top. We're actually gonna be taking them out from the wheel well. So we're gonna remove the paneling, we're gonna take out the wheel and the wheel well as well, and then we should be able to, hopefully, simply just pull the headers out through the wheel well. But there's a first for everything, especially when it comes to the Italian Stallion. Yeah, you guys like that? Sandy named it. Oh yeah, Spisa. Don't look at that. You saw nothing. And the headers are exposed. I don't think you guys can see what I'm doing, but it's a dark hole in here. For anyone who's watching this video hoping that they can figure out how to install headers on their Ferrari 458, here's a little bit of a trick for you. So you have to take off the EGR valve, and there's two bolts to get to it. We ended up pulling the EGR tube aside, taking out one of the coils, and then we were able to access it. I think we're gonna have to do that on both sides. That was a fun, but we got one of the headers out. She crusty, and every single stud came out. But you guys want to see what I mean by the 2 to 1? So this is a 4, each of them 2, and then 2. They have their own collectors, and then those 2 just meet at the single collector. So bit airflow, but we're going for noise. Oh, my light just died. I'm just gonna put the camera down for a second. I'm gonna keep busting out work in order to get this header off. We might have run into a slight minor little issue, but let me get this off and then I'll explain. Alright, we got the headers off. Oh my gosh, that was a full day just trying to get these bad boys off. Alright, let's look at them side by side. Let's start with the bad news, because there's not really good news. The bad news is it appears that the header's actually been removed before. There's different studs on different sides of the car, so that means we need new studs. We could run these in, but they're a little bird, and God, the gravity's strong right now. The FI headers Look how beautiful and shiny those look. We're gonna get the wheels in, we're gonna get the wheels on, and we're gonna fire her up. Woo-hoo-hoo! I'm so excited to hear this, but before we kind of button everything up, I've really been wanting to flush the brakes. We're gonna change the OEM brake fluid to Motul, because I also recently just watched a video of a Tesla crashing at 170 because his brakes failed because he was on OEM fluid, and I get it, this is a supercar, maybe a little bit different, but the brakes of the 458 already feel a little bit soft, so I want to get some proper Motul brake fluid in here, get rid of the old OEM brake fluid, which has probably never been changed, and wazam! Not a paid plug, just run a Motul. I can't wait to hear this. It's gonna be loud. Let's rev it and hear what it sounds like. I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that. Okay, let's try it again. I'll put these back on. Alright. Oh my God! That's what I'm talking about! Okay, let's go drive her. Let's see what she sounds like just ripping her through the tunnels at 9,000 RPM. Holy shit!
Sounds good.
Oh my God! Alright, one more. Well, now's a good time to find out if the brakes work.
Brakes work.
Oh, this sounds amazing. This sounds like a freaking F1 car. Oh, it was so worth it. So worth it. Full track mode. Hold the CST. CST is off. We are ready to rip her. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yes! Yes, just yes! Oh, we left 11s through third gear on that one. Oh, I smell those tires.
What tires?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the question is, what do we do next?
On what?
The Ferrari.
This?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say sell it. We still have another car or two that needs to be sold. I'm not done yet. Unfortunately, with the 3 cars coming in, we need to clear out a little bit more space. Sandy also showed me a car today that we're talking about. We're talking. I am such a noob. You guys can roast me in the comments. I can't believe I just did this. The whole time, ripping through the tunnels, launch control, everything. Yo, girl had the lift up. The lift was up. F in the chat. F in the trap. That is it, you guys. I'm gonna quit YouTube. I'm gonna quit cars. I'm gonna sell everything. Oh! Gotta give a huge shout out to FI Exhaust. And if you guys don't already subscribe, please subscribe to the channel and help me reach 1 million. If not by my birthday in a few weeks and by the end of the year. And I really want to give you guys an update on the GNX. When Sandy took the block, the pistons, the rods, and all that over to the machine shop for the Mustang, he also took the carburetor over to his friends over at CNJ, and they completely rebuilt it, rejetted it. We have it assembled here. And also shout out to Holly for sending us an entirely new ignition system. She should fire up and purr real nice. So we're gonna start it right now and maybe go for a quick drive. This is the first start we are doing since installing the carburetor, the ignition system, etc. On this setup, we've not actually tried to fire her yet. So let's see what happens. This chassis swap over Mimi's stuff into this, so it'd be the best of both worlds. And that's why I got this, knowing I had the 455 engine, because I didn't feel as bad not having to pull out the Turbo 6. But, you know, unfortunately, it's just going to be a little too much work, maybe a little more than what I anticipated. Very late at night when I made the bid at auction online. There was a cage in there already, but then after getting the car and seeing it for the first time, you can already tell that this cage is not the safest. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have a GNX to daily drive. Listen to that. Whoop, 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 whoop. The brakes aren't too good on this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke coming up. The trans is leaking? No! Right as I was about to drive it, I was about to take it out, she just starts smoking. The trans is leaking.
I have a speculation. The car sat over there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The converter drained out.
Oh.
Torque converter drained back of the transmission. We fired it up and it's coming out of the vent. So the trans leak, as soon as you drive it, will go away.
I mean, I'm down to give it a shot. This little extinguisher is gonna do a whole lot of nothing. You really need something like that. Ask me how I know.
It runs better.
Yeah, that runs great.
It runs way better.
Alright, boys, let's go. Grab second, grab second.
I don't know about the brakes on this car.
We're good.
You hopped off the brakes and locked up the rear tires.
We're good. I know what I'm doing. The smoking went away.
I told you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back before the cops come.
Alright, guys, that is a wrap for today's video. Ecrew, we out here with love. Bye. Do you even skate, bro?